manipulative, cold, dangerous, intimidating, unapproachable. That's what they call her. But what if none of that is actually true? The dark feminine is one of the most misunderstood forms of power, because it's not about becoming someone else. It's about finally seeing who you've been suppressing. And for many women, this realization doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, until one day, something shifts. Not on the outside, but within. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. There's no announcement, just a subtle awareness that something no longer feels right. The way people speak to her, the way she explains herself, the way she keeps adjusting to keep the peace. And at first, she tries to ignore it, because she's always been the one who understands, the one who adapts, the one who keeps things together. But something in her starts paying attention. Most women are taught how to be liked, how to be agreeable, how to be understanding, how to be patient. Even when something feels off, they're taught to maintain harmony, even at the expense of themselves. To smooth things over, to explain more, to give more, and for a long time. That works, until it doesn't. What makes this shift so powerful is that most women were never taught to recognize it. They were taught how to be chosen, but not how to choose themselves. Not how to sit with discomfort. Not how to question what feels off. Not how to trust the parts of themselves that others may deem unacceptable. And over time, those parts don't disappear. They just become quieter, hidden beneath politeness, patience, over-explaining, over-giving, and sometimes it even shows up in the way she hides herself, the way she dims her beauty, the way she softens her presence, the way she avoids being fully seen. Not because she lacks confidence, but because, somewhere along the way, she learned that being fully expressed made others uncomfortable. But nothing that is pushed down simply goes away. Carl Jung believed what we suppress doesn't disappear. It becomes our shadow. The parts of you that were never allowed to exist, but still influence how you think, feel, and respond. And for many women, this is where their dark feminine lives. Not as something negative, but as something unacknowledged. At some point, she begins to notice a pattern. Moments where she wanted to speak up, but didn't. Moments where something felt wrong, but she explained it away. Moments where she knew, but chose not to act. And those moments begin to add up, until she starts asking herself, why am I always the one adjusting? Why do I feel drained instead of supported? Why do I keep ignoring what I already see? And that's when something deeper happens. Not anger, not rebellion, but awareness. Over time, this creates something deeper than discomfort. It creates an internal split between the version of her that is accepted and the version of her that is hidden. And real growth doesn't come from becoming better, but from becoming whole, from bringing those hidden parts into awareness. Because when they stay buried, they don't disappear. They show up as resentment, exhaustion, emotional confusion, repeating the same patterns, almost as if something inside her is asking to be seen. And then there comes a moment, not dramatic, not loud, but undeniable, where she stops overriding herself stops explaining away what she feels, stops shrinking to maintain comfort, stops pretending not to notice. And instead, she observes, clearly, fully, without softening the truth. And what's interesting is, this awakening is rarely peaceful at first, because she's not just seeing others more clearly, she's seeing herself, the times she stayed silent, the times she ignored her instincts, the times she chose comfort over truth. And that realization changes everything. There's another layer to this. Patterns, the kind that repeat without you realizing it. The same reactions, the same dynamics, the same outcomes, and for a long time, they feel automatic. But as her awareness deepens, she begins to notice them, and instead of reacting, she observes. And in that moment, she is no longer controlled by them. She is choosing. She becomes more still, more observant, less reactive. She doesn't feel the need to explain herself as much. She listens more, but speaks with intention. She notices energy. She notices patterns. She notices what isn't being said. And slowly, her tolerance for what once felt normal begins to fade. People may not be able to explain it, but they feel it. Powerful, confident, grounded, unbothered, certain, clear, self-possessed, not because she's trying to be, but because she finally understands herself, because she's no longer seeking approval. She's no longer trying to be understood. She's no longer overextending to maintain connection. And that creates a different presence, a quieter power, one that doesn't need to prove anything. This is where her power actually begins. Not in control, not in manipulation, but in clarity. Because now, she understands herself. Her intuition becomes something she trusts. Her emotions become something she listens to instead of suppresses. Her boundaries become something she honors without guilt. And once that happens, she doesn't just move differently. She becomes different. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. This is a shift many women experience, but few talk about. And if this resonates with you, subscribe as we continue to explore psychology, feminine archetypes, and the deeper patterns that quietly shape who we are.